Welcome to Community Spotlight. My name is Valerie Fletcher and I'm your host. Today my guest is PEACHANDA DUBOSE. And Chanda, it's nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm
doing
good.
wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a playwright, screenwriter, director, producer, just using my gift to bring healing to the world.
So I understand that you do a lot of playwright and musicals and things like that. What got you started in that?
Oh, that's a very, very interesting question. The church I was a member of at the time, they were looking for creative ways for fundraising. And I was a part of the Founders Committee, being a new member. And so I made the suggestion that we do a play to help raise money for the church. And to make a long story short, that production, which was Surrender, my very first play, I ended up taking it and doing it on my own.
Wow.
And the rest is history, 9 years later.
9 years later, that's
yes,
the part
ma'am.
I read your bio and I'm very impressed with it. Really, I am.
Thank you.
I don't even know where to start because there's so many interesting areas to go to, like your plays. You have how many plays now?
Well, there's a total of 15, but there's been 7 or 9 of them that I've produced.
That you've produced, and they're great titles.
Yeah.
How did you get your titles? How do you come up with those?
Well, just like with anything I do, based on life experiences, whatever I feel inspired to write about at the time, I normally get spiritually what the title should be.
Yes, because some of these titles I have, they're like, The Devil Thought He Had Me.
That's based on my real life story.
Well, I picked the one, huh? The Devil Thought Me Had Me. Can you explain that?
Well, The Devil Thought He Had Me, like I said, it's a story based on my survival of domestic violence and street life. I'm a survivor of both. Wow. So creatively, I just meshed both of my life experiences of being a victim of domestic violence plus street life. I put it together to create a creative story about healing. Wow. And redemption.
And redemption,
yes. Yes, ma'am.
Is that one of your favorites? Or
That's one of them.
It's one
well,
of them.
Do I have a favorite?
Do you have a favorite one? I know it's hard to pick between so many, but...
Okay, pick 3 and ask me, which...
Okay, pick 3.
Yeah, I'm asking
you want
to
me
pick
to?
3 of your favorite titles, and then I can
Even a wretch like me.
Oh, wow. That was my most successful production as far as attendance.
All right.
It's a story based on a single father who had a record, felony record, and he, changed his life. And, the mother of his child was very bitter and was trying to make his life hard. And so he was, kind of conflicted with, resorting to his past ways of handling that, to be a part of his son's life. So that was another very interesting production. That was my second production.
The second one? Oh, yeah, because it's right here. How about Young Man?
Older Woman.
Older Woman,
That's one of my forthcoming productions. It's been written and copywritten. We haven't went into production yet, but it's a story. It's self-explanatory. It's about a romantic relationship between a younger man and an older woman. It's my story. But I added a little twist to it.
Okay. Did you use the word cougar in that one?
Well, one of the characters does. Oh. Yeah. Yes.
You have to use that word in that.
It's a beautiful love story, though. It's a beautiful story.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I've seen and met people who are in that situation, older and younger man. And,
Yeah, people tend to gravitate to that title, so I feel like that's going to be a hit.
That should be a hit for sure.
Yes.
And then I have one more. I'm not going to talk about the Loving Him yet.
Okay.
Okay, but how about Secrets of War?
Secrets of War. That's a very, very, very interesting production. It hasn't been in production yet, but it will be going into 2019. It's going to be a staged documentary of Tupac's life.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm going to depict 2 different versions of Tupac Shakur, him as an actor and him as the rapper and political activist. So we're going to show 2 different sides of his life.
Oh, that's
like a documentary, but it's going to be acted out on stage.
Oh, yes, that sounds interesting.
So we have 2 different Tupacs on stage. taking place in, you know, in Los Angeles.
Two different Tupacs actually on the stage at
Yes.
the same time.
It's just giving a different twist to educate the world on Tupac, because we got all these different films, but nobody's, you know, done it in this aspect.
Not at all. Wow, I wish you well on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, and then I noticed that you're from Delaware, right?
Wilmington, Delaware.
Wilmington, Delaware. What's it like in Delaware?
Well, I haven't been home in like 20 years, but
Okay.
Delaware it's a beautiful, Wilmington is a beautiful city. It's a beautiful community. You know, Wilmington, well, Delaware, we're the first state. So we get clowned a lot about that because it's really small. But it's a beautiful place. The best subs in the world. If you like cold subs, you know,
Yes,
it's the
I
best
do.
place in the world. Philly cheesesteaks, banging. I mean, they have some of the great northern food up there. You know, you come down south, you get the soul food. But
Wow, well,
yeah.
you're introducing me to the first state. I like that.
Yes.
And this is the first state in Charlotte, or North Carolina is the first state in freedom.
Yes.
I like that.
Well, you know, former Vice President Joe Biden, he's from Dover, Delaware. You know, so we're from different cities, but we're from the same state. So
Yes.
I was like, oh, Joe,
I was gonna
represent
say,
Delaware.
when you hear somebody from Delaware, it probably shocks you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm here and
Yeah.
live in color.
In living color, exactly. Yes, she's alive and well. Now you have screenplays as well, and I know you want to talk about something we're going to talk about a little later. Your up and coming.
My
film,
current production.
The current production, but right now you have Diverse Temptations.
Diverse Temptations. That was a short film adaptation of the one we mentioned earlier. Even a Wretch Like Me was a play, but the short film version of it was Diverse Temptations. So we just took the same synopsis and made a short film version of it.
Isn't that something? See how creative you are. You're so creative.
Thank you so much.
I really enjoy that. You know, your mind did not go to waste.
Well, thank God. Thank God.
Yes,
You know,
did.
given my story, it could have turned out differently, but you know,
Okay.
thankfully it didn't.
Now I know is the Mayan production, your Mayan production, is that part of Humanitarian, or is that something else?
Well, Mayan Productions is my production company, which I write and produce all of my productions underneath that name. And the name, I named it after both of my children, who are both young adults now. My daughter's name is Maya, and my son's nickname is Man, so it's Mayan put together.
I see.
That's where that's
great.
from.
And that's, speaking of your children,
Yes,
I know you have 2 children.
I do.
Okay, and is any one of them in the arts right now?
My daughter is. My daughter, she's a music producer, and she also does phenomenal art, painting, drawing. She also makes her own perfumes, candles, handbags, lotions.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's very creative as well. My son, he's training to be a professional boxer. Yes.
Well, that's right. Stay away from my mama.
Yes, he's 19 and he's going headstrong with it.
Oh wow, that's good. We look forward to seeing you in the Olympics, maybe.
In Olympics and in big ring.
And
so
then the big ring. That's how they start.
that's right.
Well, we wish him well, and we wish your daughter well with her career as
Thank you
as
so
well.
much. Thank
oh my
you.
goodness. Now I have other question I'm going to ask you is, what inspires you? I really want to know that.
Okay.
What inspires you?
What inspires me is basically life. I have a need for my productions to bring healing to people, no matter what subject matter I choose to tackle. Entertainment is wonderful, laughter is wonderful,
Yes.
but at the end of the day, I want my people who have witnessed my work and the phenomenal skill of my actors, I want them to leave healed, I want them to leave inspired. So what inspires me is bringing healing to other people.
Wow, that's the humanitarian part too.
Yeah, it is.
That's it. I see it. So, and you have a screenplay. No, it's a musical called Ferguson.
Yes, Ferguson. Wow. We just won NAACP Theater Award just about 3 weeks ago in Los Angeles.
Speaking of awards, now you just won that 3 weeks ago?
Yes, in Los Angeles.
Now this is my other question. I know you have a lot of awards. Can you share with us some of the awards you have? And
okay, well, just recently, Ferguson the musical was nominated for 3. We won 1. One of my actors, Alfred E. Rutherford, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in Los Angeles, and then my music director, Dean O'Leary, he was nominated as well. But we won for Best Choreography this past about 3 weeks ago in Los Angeles. Black Women in Jazz Awards, I won Playwright of the Year 2015, Woman of the Year from Black Women Association of the Arts. Atlanta, Hottest Playwright out of ATL's Hottest Awards. Out of Chicago, I was honored with the Humanitarian Award for Ferguson the Musical. And today I just found out that my production, The List, is nominated for Stage Play of the Year.
Amazing.
God has been good.
He has been good to you. I'm glad you included God in there, because there's no way in my mind that you could do all of this without having the Lord on your side.
Absolutely.
Because this is amazing. You've been in the industry only 9 years.
Yep, going on 9 years.
You've accomplished all of these plays, all these musicals, and screenwriting, and Woman of the Year. What is that about? Honoree Woman of the Year.
Well, I was selected by the National Association of Women in the Arts. For whatever reason, they thought that I qualified to be Woman of the Year.
Woman of the Year. Well,
so I was very humbled by that. That was 2016.
Oh my God, and it is recent. You're right. Oh, well, I'm very happy about all you're doing. Now you have something in you have volumes of poetry. You have time to do all the screenwriting, all the playwrights, and then you find time for poetry as well.
Well, that what you're referring to, that was actually my very first book in 2007. I've been focusing more, I've been focusing more so on my plays and screenwriting lately. But when I first started, I was strictly doing my books and poetry. That's where I got my start in writing.
Isn't that something? So you have this volume, it's volumes. So do you know how many volumes are in it? Can I ask how many volumes are in it?
Well, I have 2 volumes.
2 volumes.
As far as my poetry.
But it's years of poetry,
years
of writing.
It's in one compilation. It's in a book.
Right. Okay. Wow.
That's my first book. My second is called Reflections of Me, Poems for the Soul. And then my second book is Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. You sound like you're unbreakable. That's a perfect thing to say for you. Unbreakable.
Well, thank you.
I'm amazed. I am amazed, because I've met a lot of people that are trying to get into the industry, trying to get something out, but they run into closed doors. How are your doors
I have
open?
too.
Yes.
Well, I mean, my doors were closed. It just it has to be something within, a resilience within, to let nothing stop you.
Right. That's
life happens to everybody. It all depends on how we choose to deal with it.
And you're dealing with it mighty fine.
It has not been easy. Trust me, it hasn't been easy.
Well, what were some of the down parts without you having to discuss anything?
No, it's okay. Life, homelessness, everything. Being a single mom, I've had all of those challenges. Yes. And, I resolved that in spite of what was going on with me personally, that I would still produce and pursue my dream, which is to bring healing to the world and create opportunities for actors who need those opportunities and those platforms. So me doing this is beyond PEACHANDA. It's for the world, for one. I keep bringing up that word healing because you can heal people through your work and what you're doing. If you make somebody laugh, if you change somebody's mind in a positive way, that brings healing.
Yes, it does.
Then the actors that I employ or that I give opportunities to, because there have been times I couldn't pay them. But they got the opportunity to be seen. They got the opportunity to travel. They got the opportunity to soar and get other opportunities because of, being in my productions. And they've won awards, also. Either they've been nominated, honored, or recognized. So, so I do it for a lot of different reasons.
And it's all paying off?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And that's not about financially, but it's paying off in your, like I asked you.
Can we key in on that? I love what you just said.
Sure.
It's not about financially. And that mentality is what brings the finances. You understand what I mean? Because, like you listen to somebody like Denzel, he'll tell you he wasn't in it for the money initially. The money came because the passion was there for other reasons. And so I think when people get that mindset and that mentality, your gift will make room for you.
Yes, it will.
You understand? But you have to endure the process. If I was in this for money, I would have been stopped a long time ago.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I volunteer places and do things like that. I'm not looking at the money, I'm looking at the help. And so helping others. So you're
Absolutely.
right.
Yep.
That's good. So back to your new release that's coming. I'm just going to bring that up now.
Loving Him and He's Not Ready.
Whoa. We can spend the rest show on that.
I always get that response when I say something about that title. What went through your mind when you heard that title?
Thinking back in the past about he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
I think a lot of women.
I wasn't ready.
I think a lot of women have that experience. Well, in my circle of people, women can relate to that heavily, and I can tell you can because of the way you responded. Loving Him and He's Not Ready is a wonderful new piece. The cast is phenomenal. They're just a beautiful group of people. They're so multi-talented, very accomplished actors and actresses. It's a story about 4 different men who have 4 different stories of 4 different reasons why they won't commit. So we have 4 different relationships and stories that are all intertwined with each other, and we just bring it to life through this phenomenal piece.
Wow, wonderful. And that is going to be, when is that going to be?
That's coming May the 4th through the 6th of this year.
Oh, right.
In Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles. That's what I noticed. So you're local and you're abroad.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, in other areas. What are some of the areas you played in or had your performances in?
Atlanta, Georgia, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Virginia. Let's see if I'm missing anything. We've been to Tennessee with Ferguson with the tour.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and I'm working on some more things with Ferguson the Musical. We're continuing our tour. I just want to be closed-lipped about that until I get things confirmed.
I don't want to pressure you.
But we're going back on tour soon.
But I do have a question about the Ferguson.
Yes.
Is it a musical about the incident that happened in Ferguson?
I love that you asked me that. I'm very passionate about Black Lives Matter and what it means, and so much to the point that I sacrificed to write that production.
Yes,
me and my kids moved out of my home to fund that show, to fund that production.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you give us a little tidbit?
Yes.
Something?
We can talk about Ferguson.
About that.
We can talk about Ferguson because we've done it already.
Okay, good.
Ferguson is it's not based on the story of Michael Brown. It was inspired by it. Right. So some of the events are loosely based on what happened with him. And we bring awareness to the mentality of people when it comes to our lives and how unjustly we have been handled in terms of the police taking our lives and not having any consequences to it.
Right.
So I was inspired to write a provocative story to bring that narrative out so it can be discussed.
And that is a provocative story. I mean,
the musical part, the musical part comes about, there's music throughout the production, there's rap, there's spoken word and singing.
Wow.
And it's an all-male cast.
Oh, wow.
With the exception of one beautiful, phenomenal actress who plays the news reporter. It's predominantly a male cast, and we do have one female actress, Trisha Mann Grant.
Now, do you have the people that are portraying the police officers?
No, we refer to them in the production, but he's not spotlighted.
Okay,
we talk about him, but he's not actual cast member.
Okay, because I'm so trying to imagine. I see like I can't think West Side Story where the guys are
this story was inspired by the film 12 Angry Men. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I have seen that. Yes,
but it's my modern day version. My jury is all black males.
Yes.
And the gentleman on trial is the officer who killed the unarmed black man. So that's the twist.
He's on trial. Though,
yes, and these black powerful and these black powerful men are in the jury trying to decide his fate.
Wow. Whoa.
Yes,
now, how do we get to see something like that? How do we get to see Ferguson? Where do we have to go?
Well, Ferguson will be back on tour soon. I can't release the dates yet.
Okay,
I'm waiting
no
on
problem.
confirmation. But to keep up with me and what I'm doing,
Yes.
I could be found on my website, PEACHANDA.DUBOSE.com, or Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook.
I post constantly what I'm doing. So any one of those outlets, you can stay up to date on how to get tickets and how to stay abreast on what we're doing.
Oh, yes. Now, okay. How long does it take for you to write a production from beginning to end?
Oh, that's a good question. Film or play?
Well, let's go film.
Film generally takes longer because of the way in which it's written. If it's, say for instance, if it's a biopic based on a real life story, that generally takes longer because it requires research and communication. So you want to make sure your events are accurate. So I would say about maybe, for me personally, maybe 2 months.
Okay.
For something that extensive. But if it's just something I'm inspired to write and it's a film, I'd say maybe 3 weeks.
Wow.
For plays, 9-10 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
I got you, because I'm amazed. I tell you, it's 9 to 10 days. I know sometimes it takes people years to write something.
Well, there's been times
that they're content with.
Yes, there's been times when I started writing the script and I stopped feeling inspired, like it was like Spirit was telling me stop, and then I'll pick it up again in another 6 months.
Whoa.
So there are those instances, but on average, for me, a play, if I'm inspired and I'm flowing, it takes about 9 to 10 days.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then you gather everything, you find the actors and get everything ready.
I have my actors in my mind now 9 times out of 10 when I'm writing.
Oh, wonderful.
So I very seldom do auditions. If there's a circumstances that calls for me to have to audition, like say for instance an actor can't honor their commitment or life happens or something happens.
Yes.
Because there's been instances where there was death in the family or a cast member has gotten sick and I'll have to either audition or either ask for a referral from a colleague.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you get the actors and then you get the venue or where you're going to, you have to search for a place that will hold your
In
plays.
general, I put in my mind what type of venue I want, or what my budget will allow, or the different city, because different cities, the dynamic is different. Like theater here,
yes,
in Charlotte is different than theater in Los Angeles. They generally do runs out there. Here we do one big show.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it all depends.
So when you're saying a run meaning what?
Multiple shows.
Multiple shows in Los Angeles, and then opposed here you do one big production.
More than likely, yeah, for the same amount. Say, for instance, a 500-seater theater, 1,500-seater theater here.
Okay.
In Los Angeles, they generally break that down to 5 or 6, 7 shows.
So you know all aspects of the business. You have to.
Well, I'm learning. I'll say that I'm learning.
Yeah, because to protect your work and to protect your actors and for our sake even, you want to make sure, I see you make sure that everything is.
Well, it's been trial and error because when I started, I didn't know what I was doing.
I'm sure we all
it's been
start
times
that way.
I still have messed up, but that's all part of learning. That's all part of learning and wiping yourself off and getting up and doing it again.
Do it again.
Yep.
Now, I know you were speaking a lot about healing, but I have another question for you. Do you have a why of why you're doing all of this put together?
Those 2 young adults named Maya and Lamont, they are my why. Because when I'm not here anymore, I need them to have something that they're proud of and something that they can continue. They are my why.
They are your why.
And I have a brother who's incarcerated right now.
Okay.
He's my 3rd why.
That's a good why.
Yes, he's my 3rd why. Because when he's released, and he will be released, he has a job with his sister.
Amen.
And when I'm not here anymore, he and my kids can continue. So, yes, those are my whys. Eric, Maya, and Lamont, they are my why.
Wow. Now, I know that was the why, but now I'm going to ask a question. What inspires you?
What inspires me?
PEACHANDA.
Strong people inspire me. Those who society said wasn't going to be nothing or can't be nothing, or you know what I mean. I have a thing for overcomers.
Yes,
because
me too.
I'm one.
Wow.
You understand?
Yes.
You have to be an overcomer to appreciate and understand them.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yes, you do. And
survivors inspire me. people who have went through some tumultuous times and have overcome, because it's not an easy thing to do.
That's why sometimes when I see somebody that's, let's say, paralyzed or something, but they're able to do so many things that we, with our full body healthy, can't do, won't do.
Right.
But I see this, you know, person that's got half of what we have, has half of
Doesn't that do something to you?
Yes, it does. Every time I go, I have no excuse.
Right. So overcomers inspire me. They really do.
Yes,
you know, the hype and everything of people who, you know, are what they say arrived.
Yes.
That's nice. But what inspires me is people who have actually overcome major life issues, what could have made them lay down and die, literally.
Exactly.
From giving up.
We'll have another show on that another day. How about that?
Okay, I'm here for it.
There's a lot of that.
I'm here for it.
So I'm just happy that you came here today. And what's your next thing to do? I know you shared with me about the film, but what's your next, other than...
My baby is, my new baby is Loving Him and He's Not Ready. Los Angeles, May the 4th through the 6th at the Hudson Theater. We're gonna change more lives through this beautiful. It's a beautiful story. There's some tearjerker moments, but it's also a really provocative piece. And I'm not just saying it because I wrote it. It's a beautiful story.
Well, it have to be your approval.
Yes, ma'am.
So your approval allows you to say whatever you want, because
you
know.
And I also have an annual cruise that I do every year. It's called the Peach Theater Awards. I do it every year in honor of my colleagues, other playwrights, filmmakers, producers. We come together every year on a cruise. We have a series of workshops that we do to learn from each other, inspire and uplift each other. And we eat, we drink, we have a good time, and we go home. It's something we do every year on a cruise. This year we're going to Bermuda.
Oh, my goodness.
That's taking place in August.
Have you been there before?
I've never been to Bermuda.
Oh, I know you're looking
period,
forward.
Let alone on the Playwrights cruise. But this is something that we do every year.
Oh,
wow. So far we've been to Mexico, Bahamas, Jamaica. This year we're going to Bermuda.
Oh, wow. Going to Bermuda. Oh, so that's going to be nice. Now, are you going to actually write a play while you're on the cruise too, you think? Do you ever get inspired to, while you're working,
I never know where I'm going to get inspired. I could be in the shower and get a story. You know what I mean? Yes. So who knows? I might.
Oh, and don't stop.
Thank you so much.
Stop, you know, and your children are young adults, but your daughter already seems like she's following in your footsteps.
Yes, she is.
I mean, you're going to have a legacy of to last a while, a lifetime, with your works, her works, and your son's boxing career. That's amazing.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it up right now. It was so fun talking with you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here, and you're a wonderful host.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Had a wonderful time.
Hopefully we get
Community
to do this
Spotlight.
again. Yes, on Community Spotlight.
Community
and
Spotlight.
we're just going to wrap it up now.